Well, hi, everyone. Welcome to the Buffett and Beyond Research Saturday Market Recap Letter for May 25th, 2024. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. And remember, if you want to live on the beach like Jimmy Buffett once did, you've got to learn how to invest even better than Warren Buffett does now. And this week, the market, wow. Again, I keep saying, what a week. The NASDAQ closed at a record high, but the Dow and the S&P 500 are having a bit of a problem. And what about NVIDIA? Just how high is the sky is really the question. This week, earnings come out on the retailers, and we'll see just how folks like you and I are handling these higher prices. And our weekly stock analysis video, Chipotle is flying high. Now, this stock has been in our growth portfolio for a very long time, and at the rate it's going to be there for a long time to come. And our ETF video, well, interest rates went up this week because now some of the analysts out there are saying that the Fed might not raise or might not lower interest rates at all this year. So with interest rates going up, this hurts housing, and the Home Builders ETF, which has been so good to us, has given us a sell signal. We'll take a look at that in the ETF video. And let us look at the S&P 500, and we've had this beautiful rally up to the top of this top volatility band. Now, the center line in here is the 20-day moving average, and last week I was saying, or the week before actually, that once you hit the top of this band, just like right in here, then you drop back a little bit and you make another run for that high. And boy, on Thursday we sure did. The market went shooting up and then went falling down and closed at a low in here. And this is on Thursday. And then Friday came back a little bit and closed just above the 5,300 level on the S&P 500. Now down here you can see our intermediate term indicator. That blue line is starting to turn over a little bit, so there's weakness coming into the market, even though it looked good, and we heard all about NVIDIA this past week, and everybody is thanking me for talking about it in our weekly letter during the week because we talked about it just before earnings came out, and those of you who bought even more just before earnings came out are, well, flying high. But the overall market seems to be rolling over a little bit in here. So we'll see what happens this coming week, which will be a shortened week because Monday the market is closed. Now let's look at the S&P 500 and let's look at the candlesticks and some other parts of the chart. And up here, first thing we do with the short-term indicator, we see a little divergence. In other words, the market went higher, nominally higher, but this indicator made a lower high in here. So that gives us a little bit of a sell signal. And you can also see that every time we come above this line, we get a little bit of a correction. No matter where we are, a little bit of a correction. And since the market has been so good, some of these corrections last 1, 2, or even 3 days, except for this one in here, which gave us a nice buying opportunity. Boy, it was beautiful. This was a divergence to the upside. We got it, got a nice long rally in here, but now we're having a little trouble. And the S&P is coming down to that 20-day exponential moving average. This blue line is the 50-day moving average, so we have to be really careful in here. And then when we come all the way down here, here's that intermediate term indicator. You get a different type of look at it because this black line is rolling over a little bit. Friday was a good closing day, but that's what usually happens before a 3-day weekend. The market likes to be in rally mode, or at least slightly rally. And don't forget, we have the end of the month this coming week is the end of the month, and usually the end of the month and the beginning of the following month, the market has an upward bias. So we have some things that are going on relative to selling, and we also have a stage in the market where we have bullishness because of a 3-day weekend and bullishness because we're coming to the end of a month, going into a new month this coming week. And when we look at the Dow, well, the Dow is the weaker of all of them. Here we have this topping process in here. The market actually came down, closed below the 20-day moving average, and is trying to attack it from the bottom. Very, very hard to see in here. But on Friday, the market went back up after that Thursday. You could see this line on Thursday. That was nasty. But Friday, it tried to come back, could not break through above that 20-day moving average. That's not a good sign. Then when we come down here, this is a sell signal, folks. If we get one more day of a down day, this will definitely do the crossover. Right now, the black line is sitting right on that red line, actually cross over a little bit, but Tuesday, the first market day of next week, we will see if this market can hold or not. So this is a little bit dangerous in here. We don't like that. Now, when we look at the QQQs, yeah, the QQQs have been doing great, especially with NVIDIA. So it reached new highs. We are sitting at a new high, but look up here. We are getting topping action right here. And then when we come all the way down here, we see this black line just starting to turn a little bit. So the QQQs, which is the NASDAQ 100, is doing better than everything else. However, it is still showing signs of weakness. And see this red line in here, this red vertical line? Well, that was on Thursday when the market closed down, and you can see that volume was pretty high. Not as high as it's been back in here, but still higher than the green lines, which are or represent the volume on the up days. So this red line representing the volume on the down day on Thursday was pretty high. So we have to look at this and see how it's going to react this coming week. Again, we should see a little bullish bias toward the end of this coming week, heading into the following week, which is, June already, folks. Summertime is beginning. So we'll see what happens, folks. And, of course, as I mentioned, we are going to see what the retailers are doing this week as they come out with earnings. The stocks such as Costco, which always has good earnings, but that stock is pretty much overpriced, as we talked about this past week in our daily letter. It's trading over 50 times earnings, so we may see, even though we're going to come out with good numbers, we know it's got good numbers because you can't find a parking space. So even with good numbers, Costco usually has a habit of backing off after the earnings come out because everybody knows they're going to be good earnings and they're just expecting sky-high numbers, and usually it falls back. But it's always a good stock to have in the portfolio. We've had it there for a long time. Not only is it a good growth stock, but, folks, it's a good defensive stock also. For when the market does go down, people will continue to shop at Costco. All right, portfolio protection. Yep, we have June, July, and August puts. This is about a $140,000 portfolio. We have 3 SPY puts, which will cover that about 12 to 13% below the market right now. So we call this our disaster insurance in case the market really does go crazy or something happens and the market just drops for a while. That's why we have these put protections in here. And, of course, some of our short-term trades that we do during the week give us just enough money to pay for these puts, which are very inexpensive right now. So it's hard not to have them, especially with the market starting to roll over a little bit in here. So, folks, this is a 3-day weekend. Go to the beach. Practice your beach art. Is this amazing or what? I can't even imagine it, let alone put the rocks together to do something like this. But somebody did it, left it there for us all to see until the tide came in and washed it away. So, folks, you go out. You have a good time this weekend. Think about art. Think about your family. Think about having a good time. Forget about the market. And we'll go into a shortened week this coming week. So, folks, be safe. We'll see you in a couple of days.